A 7-year-old second grader who attempted suicide while his father was serving yet another tour in Iraq. 7 years old. 7. Now, this little boy's mother was one of half a dozen military spouses that Stacey Bannerman talked with about the children of soldiers, children who have attempted suicide during their father's deployments. I mean, this is unbelievable stuff. Stacey writes, when I was 7, it was 1972, and there were about 70,000 troops in Vietnam. Men were still being drafted and deployed, but not my dad. So I was spared the circumstances that led a 7-year-old boy to try to kill himself. And as Stacey Bannerman points out, 3+ decades ago, parents were exempt from conscription because of overwhelming concern about the harmful effects of deployment on children. And by the way, that's the only reason I got a deferment. Mike Malloy, that's the only reason that I went from 1A to 3A, was when they found out that I had children, even though I had taken my physical and mental and all this other stuff and was subject to, hadn't got my notice to report yet. But then the draft board, my home draft board, found out. They said, no, we're not taking fathers. Today, as Stacey writes, roughly half of the troops who have served in Iraq and Afghanistan are parents, not just dads. As Stacey says, many of whom have served multiple tours. Repeat deployments stress soldiers and escalate the likelihood of psychological injuries that can last for a lifetime. And now there's a small but rapidly growing body of evidence suggesting that the same is true of their children. The Associated Press reported that, quote, after nearly 8 years of war, soldiers are not the only ones experiencing mental anguish. Last year, children of U.S. troops sought outpatient mental health care 2 million times. Did you hear that? Children of U.S. troops saw outpatient mental health care 2 million times, double the number at the start of the Iraq War. Since the 2003 invasion of Iraq, inpatient visits among military children have increased 50%. Inpatient, where they have to be, put in a hospital or a controlled environment. 50%. Stacey writes that the VA, Veterans Administration's latest research on mental health issues of troops who served in Iraq and Afghanistan shows that, quote, the prevalence of new diagnoses in early 2008 had nearly doubled from 4 years prior in 2004. Mental disorders. This is what we're doing, folks. This is what we're doing. This craziness about Afghanistan and Iraq. I mean, think about it. The invasion of Iraq by George W. Bush and Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld had nothing to do with the security of the United States. In fact, the end result of their game was to make us less secure. Not only are they responsible for the deaths of 1 million Iraqis. Yes, 1 million. But Bush and Cheney and Rumsfeld and the rest of these swine will be long dead. Just dust in a coffin somewhere. While living, breathing Americans will still be suffering PTSD, either as soldiers or the children of soldiers, long after these sons of bitches are dead and rotted away. And Stacey writes, in the America I grew up in, we wouldn't have needed something like that. That America didn't send soldier parents to war over and over and over and over again. That America wanted to protect its children from the debilitating effects of a father's deployment. That America believed and acted in concert with that belief that the family unit should not, could not, would not withstand the burden of having a father in harm's way for a year, much less year after year after year. That America would have wept at the thought of a suicidal 7-year-old and brought the father home immediately. In this America, a 7-year-old second grader attempted suicide while his father was serving yet another tour in Iraq. 7 years old. 7.